Good evening, everybody. Pastor Drew from Lighthouse Church. Yesterday, we started our celebrations of the Holy Week by discussing Palm Sunday, where Jesus fulfilled a prophecy that was in Zechariah 9 when he came into Jerusalem on a donkey. And basically by this he was doing two things. Firstly, he was declaring that he was King and Messiah. But secondly, he was defying and challenging the religious leadership in Jerusalem at the time. So now as we go from Sunday, we pass into Monday. And I just wanted to share with you a couple of thoughts around that passage. If you have the opportunity, if you could read through Mark 11, verses 12 through 20 in particular, just so we can give you some more detail about what I'm about to say. But fundamentally, there was 2 points in there that I wanted to discuss with you. The first is that Jesus cursed a fig tree. The second one is that he cleansed the temple. Basically, these were both symbolic acts demonstrating the outward fruitlessness and the inward corruption of Israel. First, let's just talk about the fig tree for a moment. Basically, if you look at verse 20, you'll see as the following day they passed the fig tree, they noticed that it withered from its root, or to its root. And really, it's kind of given us a real short and sweet message. Where are our roots planted? Because if our roots aren't planted deeply in Christ, and we have no real fruit. The second thing was about him cleansing the temple. Now, it's the most sacred place, but it had become a marketplace. People profiteering, or the priests profiteering out of the temple, and worse still, they were taking a cut. But they were kind of saying, no, it's okay, we're helping out, we're providing a service. But if we look back to the Gospel of John in chapter 2, I think it was, this wasn't the first time that Jesus cleansed the temple. He flipped the tables before, but it wasn't long that actually the priests let the corruption return. And what's even more concerning is actually this corruption was taking place in the Gentile court, which is the bit outside. So rather than spending time in missionary work and evangelization, the Jews were seizing, or the Jewish priests were seizing opportunity to make some money, to take a cut. And that I find quite disturbing. Now, what would you have thought, outsiders looking in would have seen? So really, my reflection for today is we've talked about what would Jesus do. I want to change that to what would Jesus see. If he came back and he looked down, and trust me, he is. If he looked down at his followers, would he see real fruit in our lives? And what would he see in happening in our temples or our churches? What would he see? Would he see there's some real fruit and some real stuff coming out there? Or would he just see that we're just a busy church that are full of programs turning the church into a business? So don't let this thought pass you by. And maybe, just maybe, in this current crisis of COVID-19, God's using that as an opportunity to press the reset button in his churches, in his followers. They're actually redefining what the core values should be of our lives. And that's really displaying fruit for him. And actually outwardly reaching people, not stuck in our holy huddles, not being safe in our little place, our holy little place, but actually reaching out into our community. You can't deny the fact that communities are being rebuilt as we speak. So just as just a bedtime thought for you there, and in the words of Joseph, what the enemy intended for evil, God meant for good. So God is turning this. I know there's been a lot of hardship and death and stuff that's around this, and that is really bad. And my prayers go out to those people. However, let's look at this as an opportunity. We as believers are safe, and we need to stand on the word. Read Psalm 91 again. But so I'm just asking you to keep safe. Hopefully see you tomorrow. Be blessed and be highly favoured. Take care now. God bless.